Hello students, I am Chetan Singadia from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus. You are watching the video lecture for the subject of Database Management System. In this video lecture, today we are going to see generalization in DBMS, specialization, aggregation, and also we would like to see to convert entity relationship model, or we can say ER model, to table. So now let us discuss generalization, specialization, aggregation, and how to convert ER model into a table. So let us start with generalization. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss list of the topics that I listed here, that is generalization, specialization, aggregation in DBMS, converting the ER model into a table, or to reduce ER model to a table, both we can say. And the last topic they would like to see in this video lecture, that is relationship of higher degree, that we already discussed in our previous video lecture also, but for the sake of simplicity for this topics, we would also like to see once again in this video lecture, that is higher degree of relationship in DBMS. So now let us start with the generalization in DBMS. So what is generalization? Generalization is like a bottom-up approach in which two or more entities of lower level combines to form a higher level entity if they have some attributes in common. What is that? Let me discuss once again. A generalization is like a bottom-up approach in which two or more entities of lower level combines to form a higher level entity if they have some attributes in common. So whenever we have some common attributes, so we are going to combine that common attributes and we are generating one entities from lower level to higher level entity. That is nothing but generalization. In generalization, an entity of a higher level can also combine with an entities of a lower level to form a further higher level entities like subclass, superclass system, but the only difference is this approach, generalization, uses bottom-up approach. In generalization, entities are combined to form a more generalized entity, like subclass are combined to make a superclass. So that we can give an example of generalization. So whenever we have some sort of subclasses are there, and that we are going to combine to make a superclass. So this is what the simple definition of generalization, or we can say simple understanding of generalization. So now let us understand how generalization can be defined in the form of graphical user interface. For example, faculty and students are the entities. So faculty, here you can see in this picture, faculty and students are the entities, and it can be generalized. It can be generalized is a create a higher level entity called person. That means these are the two entities. One is a faculty and another one is a student. So these two entities have common attribute, or common meaning. So that entities can be generalized with the name called person. So we can say that a faculty is a person and student is also a person. So this both entity can be generalized. So this is how anyone can generalize the entity from lower level to higher level. So this is what an example of generalization in DBMS, and this is how we can define the generalization for the sake of simplicity. Now let us discuss what is specialization. A specialization is a top-down approach. It is opposite to the generalization. We discussed in the generalization where we are using bottom-up approach. In the generalization, we are using top-down approach, and it is opposite to the generalization. And in the specialization, one higher level entity can be broken down into two lower level entities. What is that? In specialization, one higher level entity can be broken down into two lower level entities. So this is how we can define the definition of specialization. A specialization is used to identify the subset of entities set that shares some distinguished characteristics of an entity. Normally, the superclass is defined first. Normally, the superclass is defined first and the subclass and its related attributes are defined next. Then the relationship sets are then added. That means here I would like to convey to you is that once we have a higher level entities, then that higher level entities can be broken down into two or more entities. But the thing is, they are supposed to have some distinguished characteristics also. So normally what will happen, the superclass, that means the main class will be defined first, and then after we are going to define the subclass and their related attributes also and relationship also. So this is how we can say that specialization can be have in DBMS. Now let me show you an example of specialization. In an employee management system, employee entity can be specialized as a tester or a developer based on what role they play in the company. So here you can see in this example, there is a employee entity, there is a tester entity and developer entity. Now what we have understood in specialization, specialization is a higher level entity and that can be broken down into two or more entities. So here employee entity can be broken down into two entities, one is a tester and another one is a developer. Why? Because employee can be worked as a tester and employee can be worked as a developer. So we can say employee is a tester also and employee is a developer also. So this is how this specialization can be defined with the help of a graphical user interface in ER model of database management system. So this is what the simple understanding of DBMS specialization. So now let us discuss what is aggregation in DBMS. In aggregation, the relations between two entities is treated as a single entity. Here you can see in this example there is a one relation, but that relation can be treated as a one entity, one single entity. In aggregation, the relationship with its corresponding entities is aggregated into a higher level entities. Like in generalization and specialization, this entity is called as a higher level entities. For example, a center entities of a course entity act as a single entity in the relationship, which is in relationship with another entity called a visitor. In the real world, if the visitor visits a coaching center, then he will never inquire about the course only or just about the center. Instead of he will ask the inquiry about both. So this is how you can define the aggregation in a database management system to create a entity relationship model. So this is what DBMS generalization, DBMS specialization and DBMS aggregation that we are going to use in our ER model to create an effective database for the sake of simplicity. And after completing that database, we are going to create an effective data dictionary which can be implemented in project also. So this is how aggregation will work in graphical user interface. Now let us discuss the next topic, that is a reduce or reduction of ER diagram to table. That means we have a ER diagram and that ER diagram we need to convert it into a table. So there are some important points to converting a ER diagram to the table. There are 6 steps. Let's see one by one. First, entity type becomes table. What is the first step? Entity type becomes a table. All single valued attributes become a column for a table. This is important. Let me revise once again. What is the first point? Entity types become table. That means entity becomes table. All single value attributes becomes a column for a table. Now we know what is single value attribute. The single value attribute is nothing but the attributes has a single value and that particular attribute cannot be divided further. Such kind of attribute are called as a single value attribute, that we already see in our previous video lecture in the types of attributes, that is simple attributes. The key attributes of the entity type which represented by the primary key, and we know the key attributes can be called as a prime attributes, primary key, and that can be represented by a primary key. Multi-valued attributes is represented by a separate table, And we already know what is multi-valued attribute. When a attribute have more than one value, like student email ID or student contact number can be a more than one value. So we can say it is multi-valued attributes, and it is represented by a separate table. And another one is a composite attribute, which is represented by an components. Then we have to understand the derived attributes are not considered in this table. So these are the 6 simple steps which will helpful to converting a ER diagram into a table. So let us start this process and understand how we can convert an ER model or ER diagram into a table. Let us first understand this diagram, basic understanding of ER diagram, so we can easily understand the process of reducing the ER diagram into a table. The database can be represented using the notations. These notations can be reduced to a collection of tables. In the database, every entity set and relationship set can be represented in a tabular form. That means what they are saying here, these are the entities. Here you can say student entities in this ER diagram. Student entities are there, course entities are there, subjects entities are there, lecturer entities are there. And with the entities, they have some associated attributes also. They have some associated attributes also. Like every entity has some attributes, and each entity has one primary key. One primary key, one of the multi-value attributes, we can say composite attributes, single value attributes, all the things are described here. There are some relationships are given between the two entities. So there some of the cases they have provided one-to-many relationship. In the some cases they are provided many-to-one relationship. In the some of the cases they are provided one-to-one relationship. In some of the cases they are provided many-to-many relationship. So actually till now what we understand, this is how ER diagram can be created with the help of GUI. That means with using of notations of ER symbols, using ER symbols or ER notation, this is how we can create an ER diagram where we are using the entities, attributes, and some of the properties of relationship. We will see the cardinality. We have represented the relationship between more than one entities. So after understanding this, we would like to see the steps to create ER diagram to table. That means we are reducing the ER diagram into a table. So now let us start with that process. Now as per our example, what we have to do, we have to further divide our process. That means the steps we have to understand that we have listed previously. Like first step is what? To reduce an ER diagram to table. What is the first step? The first step is entity types become a table. That means whatever the entities are there, that will forms an individual table. So in our diagram, what are the entities? The lecturer, student, subject, and course. These are the entities, and they forms individual tables. So this is what the first step. And the next step, all single valued attributes become column for a table. The single value attributes become a column for a particular table or a relation. So in the student entity, student name and student ID forms a column of student table. Similarly, course name and course ID forms the column of the course table, and so on. So this is how all the single value attributes becomes a column for a particular table. Like subjects and course also, it will form a column for a particular table. So let us see how the next step will process to reduce an ER diagram to table. The third step is that a key attributes of the entity type which is represented by primary key. So in our example, there are the key attributes. What are the key attributes? The key attributes are course ID, student ID, subject ID, and lecturer ID are the key attributes of the entity, or we can say prime attributes or a primary key of that particular table. So this is what the third step. The fourth step is a multi-valued attribute is represented by a separate table. A multi-valued attribute is represented by a separate table. So what is that? In the student table, hobby is a multi-valued attribute. So it is not possible to represent multi-valued attribute in a single column. So the student table, hence we create a table called student hobby with column name, student ID, and hobby. Using both the column, we create the composite key. So this is how that multi-valued attribute can be represented by a separate table. Then next step is to a composite attribute will be represented by an components. So in our example, student address is a composite attribute. Why? Because it contains city, city pin, door, street and state. So in the student table, these attributes can be merged as an individual column. This attribute can be merged as a individual column. So such kind of attributes we have to identify and we have to define accordingly. So this is called a composite attribute, which is represented by a component. Let me explain once again the composite attribute. The student address is a composite attribute. Why? Because it contains a city attributes, pin, door, street and state. These are the five attributes. But in this student table, these attributes can be merged. That means we can merge that columns and form an individual column. We can make an one column. So this call it as a composite attribute, and this can be represented by n components. Now derived attributes are not considered in the table. What is the next step? The derived attributes are not considered in the table. That means the number of derived attributes whatever are available in a ER diagram, that we are not going to consider in a particular relation or a table. So what is that? Let me explain. In the student table, age is a derived attribute and it can be calculated at any point of time by calculating the difference between current date and date of birth. So this is what the derived attributes. That means actually the derived attributes are not defined anywhere. This is supposed to be calculated with the help of another attributes. So that's why we are saying that derived attributes are not considered for the table or in the table or a relation. So this is how we can reduce an ER diagram to table with these simple steps. Now after understanding all these 6 steps, this is how our table will look like. After converting a ER diagram to table, our output will look like in this way. Using these rules, you can convert an ER diagram to tables and columns and then assign the mapping between tables. Table structure is given in the ER diagram as below. Now here you can see previously that table will look like some another way, and here it will look like some another way. Like after following these 6 steps, we have identified the entity, student entity, lecturer entity, subject entity and course entity. Then after we have also identified the key attributes. Then we also identify the composite attributes. Then we have also identified multi-valued attributes. So after adding all these things, we came to know that a derived attribute cannot be, one of the important parameter, the derived attribute cannot be considered for the table. So the age that we are saying, so age kind of attributes are not available in any of the entities. So this is what and how we are going to converting this ER diagram to table. This will look like in this manner. So understanding here, one more important thing that we would like to see, we also provide the proper arrow to each and every entity to understand and to flow of this diagram. So this is what reduce an ER diagram to a table in DBMS. Now let us understand what is the relationship of higher degree. The degree of relationship can be defined the number of occurrences in one entity that can be associated with the number of occurrences is another entity. That means the number of times the entities is associated with another number of occurrences of another entities. So this is called the relationship of higher degree. That degree of a relationship that we already see in our previous video lecture also. So there are 3 kinds of degree of relationship: one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one. Let us see one by one. Now let us understand one-to-one. In a one-to-one relationship, one occurrences of entity relates to only one occurrences in another entity. That means whenever we are talking about a one-to-one relationship, one occurrence, that means one time of entity relates to only one time of another entity. This is called a one-to-one mapping, or we can say cardinality. In one-to-one relationship rarely exists in practice. For example, if an employee is allocated to a company a car, that car can only be driven by that employee. That is rarely exist practice. That means that car can be used by another person also. That's why we are going to understand here. Therefore, employee and company car have one-to-one relationship. So what is the important thing that we have to understand here? One time of entity relates to the only one time to the another entity. Then most important properties of that one-to-one parameter is that relationships rarely exist in a practice. That means rarely exist in a real world entity. Why? Because let's see once again example. If an employee is allocated to a company a car, then the car can only be driven by that employee. That is not possible. So anyone in the company can driven that car. But if you want to define that one-to-one relationship, then we can define in this way: employee is allocated or is to assign to company a car. So this is what an one-to-one relationship. Now let us see what is a one-to-many relationship. The one occurrences in the entity relates to the many occurrences of entity. That means one time in an entity relates to the many times of another entities. Like employee works in one department. Example, you can see the employee works in one department, but in a department has many employee. Employee works in one department, but the department may have many employees. Therefore, the department and employee have one-to-many relationship. So this is what an one-to-many relationships in ER diagram. Now let us see what is many-to-many relationship. In a many-to-many relationship, many occurrences in the entities relate to the many occurrences in another entities. So this is called a many-to-many relationship. Same is one-to-one relationship. The many-to-many relationships rarely exist. Let us see that example. At the same time, employee can work on several projects, and the project has team of many employees. Therefore, employee and project have many-to-many relationship. So what is the example? At the same time, an employee can work on several projects. The employee can, here you can see in this example, employee can work on several projects, and the same, the project has team of many employees. The project has team of many employees. So you can see this this representation of arrows. The one employee can work more than one project, and in one project more than one employee can work. So this is how many-to-many relationship can be exist in a entity relationship diagram. But once again, it is same as one-to-one relationship is a many-to-many relationship rarely exist in a practice. Now let us summarize till now in this video lecture what we have covered, what we have discovered, what we have discussed. So we have discussed about the generalization, specialization, aggregation, converting table ER diagram to table, and we have also seen the higher degree of relationship or relationship of higher degree. So in this video lecture, we have look like a generalization is look like in this manner. So when a generalization is what, that means the person can be worked as a faculty, and faculty and students can be generalized with the person entity, because that can be generalized, because a faculty can be a person and student can be a person. So this is how that generalization can be explained. We have also seen the specialization, like entities can be broken down into two or more entities. So employee can be worked as employee is a tester also, and employee is a developer also. So this is how specialization can be done. And also in aggregation, what is that? In a relation between two entities, can be treated as a single entity. Here you can see the relations between one or more entities, that is relations between center and course, can be treated as a single entity. So this is called an aggregation in DBMS. And then we have seen the reduction of ER diagram to table. And what is that? That we already understand that there are 6-step process. Entity becomes stable. All single valued attributes become column for the table. A key attributes of the entity type represented by primary key. Multi-valued attributes is represented by separate table. A composite attribute which is represented by component, and derived attributes are not considered in the table. Let us see that. So this is what the example of ER diagram that we have seen previously. And these are the steps. In the first step, we have identified the entity becomes table, and these are the entities: lecturer, student, subject, course, and this will form an individual table. Then we have once again identified the single value attributes in our example. So for the student entity, it is a student name and student ID, and the course table, it is course name and course ID, and so on. We can identify the single value attributes, and it will become a column for the table. We have also identified the key attributes, or we can say prime attributes in the entity, which is represented by primary key, and these are the course ID, student ID, subject ID, and lecturer ID are the key attributes of this table. We have once again defined the multi-valued attributes, which is represented by a separate table. So in this our example, we have seen that a student hobby with column names and student ID and hobby, using both column names, and create a composite key. So this is how we can create composite attributes and represented by common. We are once again not considering our derived attributes to considered into a table. So this is what in this today's lecture. In this we have discussed entity relationship model to converting ER model to table, aggregation, generalization, and specialization. So thank you all.